Hello everyone, Switch W here. I decided to talk about something else today. Ever since we have seen a lot of mystical creatures in My Little Pony universe, all from chimeras, dragons, hippogriffs, griffins, and many others. But in our world, there are many mysterious creatures that are claimed to be real, but so far has not been revealed as genuine creatures. There are the list of many creatures that goes far beyond any biological beliefs. There might some people say that this might be just some mythical creatures that people made up to become famous or spread panic or something. I don't know. But all these creatures belongs to in one to category of science, which is called cryptozoology. And you may ask what kind of creatures there might be one of those creatures. Well, there are actually several, like Loch Ness Monster, Yeti, or the Snowman, the Bigfoot, or Chupacabra, or many other creatures. So far, people have been claiming they are real, but even they are showing a lot of pictures, a lot of photographs, or footprints, and even videotapes, recordings, but they always had been showed being false, fake, all of them. But there might be some other creatures though, because during on this this particular series of these mysterious creatures, even they might say them some of these creatures became aware in the modern world around maybe like late 1800s up to and to the present day. But I'm going to talk about one of the most famous ones that has ever been spotted, but this particular creature only appears in one place only in the world. That is the Bigfoot, aka Sasquatch. Bigfoot is a creature that belongs to the North American folklore. And even that many people believe that this is a creature that's wandering around in some from Pacific Northwest, particularly Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia, and some other places. But there had been some cases that people had reported that they had seen Bigfoot across the rest of the United States and of course in Canada. But might people say, "Oh, is Bigfoot even real?" Probably someone who's put up in a suit and pretending to be a Bigfoot. Well, majority of the scientists have historically discounted the existence of Bigfoot and considering it as a combination of folklore and as a hoax rather than a living creature. But this belief about the Bigfoot has been in what is a folklore had been part of the European wild man figure, or even one among the Native Americans. But the sense that some people claim have seen the Bigfoot, like a big ape-like creature, and some description how roughly between 6 and 9 feet tall and covers known as black, dark brown, or a dark reddish color, and that his footprints are even large, or sometimes from 24 inches to almost, well, even if we do know that all the most historical records of that, um, well, people may wonder when did this wild man, the hairy man, the Bigfoot, Sasquatch even start appearing in the world, in the history, in books, and everything. Well, one among the earliest known so far recorded records goes back to 1800s. Some of them might think that it's just some hoax, but there are facts, even if there, even by this that as for the modern world has been the records goes back as far as the 1800s. But in fact, Native American tribes across the United States and Canada have been noticed by this creature for a long time, even centuries, perhaps even thousands of years before even European even arrived to North America. So people, Native Americans, had been aware about this creature for millennia, and some of the tribes in the United States of America, actually have been aware about this creature. They don't interfere with it. As long as they don't interfere with them, they won't not interfere with their lives. Even some American tribes, they even worship Bigfoot as like a like a god. Not more as a natural nature spirit. Many people might say, okay, Sweet Diablo, where is the actual proof that Bigfoot is even real? Well, you may say about footprints, but that is one thing that also. Footprints can easily be fake. Yes. Make some fake shoes with some big foot, bigger foot some bigger than your own, and put on some sort of, I don't know, like a gorilla suit and pretend to be a Bigfoot in the area. That is one among the many, many of those stories that been hoaxed. But even where many had been recorded about this. But some people believed that Bigfoot could have been some sort of descendant to an ancient ape that once were alive. This particular sorry, but this particular ape lived for about 2 million years ago to recently 100,000 years ago, at around the same time when the unknown people on humans by the name Homo erectus. But this particular was called Gigantopithecus, or pronounce it right. And this particular creature, when they stand, they were about 9.8 feet tall and had a weight from 1190 to maybe 1320 pounds. And that is a big creature. Just imagine a human being. Believe a human being, but to be as tall as 8 feet, which is, since the world records about the tallest people is 8 feet tall. But anyways, people believe that this creature is real. Even we haven't found any physical traces, like any genuine tracks. Even which they believe, people had been thinking, could this have been some sort of other extinct species? But what if the Bigfoot is real? Who knows? People have been studying about Bigfoot claims for years. Many organizations had been dedicated themselves to be found any proof that that Bigfoot are real. Even when many people say no, it's not, even they have found many traces of Bigfoot, like footprints and even some hair samples. After being studied this hair or this fur to be doing some tests on them, but most of them showing it to be of known animals like deers, raccoons, or perhaps even bears. So even with reading the same, certainly that how about much of the others? There are even some people saying that, oh no, Bigfoot just isn't real, and Bigfoot is just some story that the people had made up. And if you're telling that to Native Americans who had been living in the same area as a Bigfoot for centuries, for millennia, if you tell them that to them, you might say they might be offended because they have been living among these creatures for such a long time, and even they had stories about these particular creatures long before even our Europeans even came to America. Or even long before we even knew there were another continent outside of Atlantic. But do I believe that there might be a Bigfoot? I might have to say much yes on that because even there are hundreds of reports of these claims up in about the Bigfoot over the years. Even there are many pictures, video clips. Even though that were one Korean claim that was recorded back in the late 60s about this supposed um, Bigfoot. Yeah, even with that the quality wasn't that seems to be good as many think, but still, I strongly believe there might be a Bigfoot. And why do you ask why I strongly believe in that? Well, think about this. There are hundreds, no, maybe thousands of creatures. There are literally new animals being discovered almost every single day around the world. For example, one creature that has been around with like the dinosaurs era, a fish. Yes, you're right, a fish. This particular fish was around when the dinosaurs were still alive, and many people believe that that particular fish had been extinct for millions of years. But until in the late 1900s, no, early 1900s, by random chance in Pacific Ocean, they actually found a living specimen of this particular fish. And the strange is this, that particular fish hasn't evolved anything over the past 60 or 70 million years. It hasn't changed almost anything in almost 60 million years. So if that creature might say that Bigfoot might be another creature that could have been an ancient sort of a species of an evolved ape. Let's say for some that Bigfoot might be some sort of a creature, an ape species that has survived, had evolved somewhere in the world, and had migrated to North American continent during the time when you could do it, and that trapped in America, and it somehow became evolved to this current state, like with this 6 to 9 feet tall. I mean, even that there had been even some areas around the Great Lakes region and southeastern United States. There has been reports of Bigfoot sightings there. Even if I do believe, and even where it has been from like 1818 to 1980, over 1,000 sightings of Bigfoot. So do I believe Bigfoot even is real? I mean, there are many creatures that has been considered as just myths, legends. But do I say that Bigfoot might be real? I have to say that I strongly believe there could have been some truth in that. So why put it otherwise? Why would people still continue to make claims that they have seen a Bigfoot? I don't know. Even though that many people saying that Bigfoot are real. And even the big name Bigfoot or Sasquatch, but they mostly known in Canada by Native Americans. So if Bigfoot or Sasquatch is real, I have to say yes, because even there are many forests, there are plenty of grounds in the Americas where they haven't been able to explore yet, because there are many big natural parks in just both in Canada and United States, which has acres after acres of land with dense forest, which is also as since they're national park, they are they're forbidden to build any complexes or any house building there. So there might be chances there could be like some ape-like creature living there on those national parks, and only that is came out when you at least expect it. But even if we don't know for sure that the Bigfoot is even real, many scientists, as like I said, majority have disclaimed that they aren't even real, that it's just people making up some stories. Because even since Bigfoot has been around, came out as more public since the 1800s up to now, many people believe that Bigfoot is some fairy tale like story that people make up. But people have been claiming they've been seeing that. And there is a show, well, they used to be on TV, but they're maybe ongoing on the reruns by the name Finding Bigfoot. I have seen that particular show and it's very interesting. So, if there are any people who lives in the United States among my viewers and fans, if you have seen any signs of, if you believe that Bigfoot is real, let me know in the comment section below. Because I know that. Right? Because I have at least a few friends who lives across the United States. One in the Seattle area, where there have been counts of Bigfoot sightings in that particular area, around Seattle and south from that, and a friend who lives around in the south, near Louisiana, which also been a sites of Bigfoots, but they even had been some sightings in Michigan, like I said, around the Great Lakes area, which my girlfriend lives. That is one of the places that Bigfoot had been seen, at least what people claims. So I do believe that Bigfoot are real. So if there has anyone or one of my fans or viewers believe that Bigfoot is real, or if you even have seen Bigfoot, let me know that. Because, like I said, Bigfoot is very interesting. And that's all I want to say this for now. And this as well. But yeah. And as always, subscribe, leave a comment, and as always, this is Switch Double over and out.